Today I going to explain a very important topic which is axillary artery. Why axillary artery is important? Because upper limbs totally depend upon the axillary artery for their blood supply. Axillary artery is only the artery which gives of the branches to the upper limb and then supply the upper limb. First of all, the very general review about the branches of aorta, because it is very important to understand the branches of aorta in a thoracic region and how these branches is further continue to the upper limb. So this is a aorta. We know that aorta is originate from the left ventricle. This is a ascending aorta, this is a arch of aorta, and this is a descending aorta. So on a left side, this is a left side of the body and this is a right side of the body. On a left side, the arch of aorta giving the two branches, the left subclavian artery and the left common carotid artery. But on a right side of the body, arch of aorta gives the brachiocephalic artery. This is a brachiocephalic artery which further gives of the two branches, right common carotid artery and right subclavian artery. So important point to remember is that on a left side, the left common carotid artery and the left subclavian artery, left common carotid and left subclavian artery is directly originate from the arch of aorta. But on a right side, it does not originate from the arch of aorta, but the right subclavian artery and the right common carotid artery is originate from the brachiocephalic artery, and then brachiocephalic artery is originate from the aorta. Again guys, aorta which is originate from the left ventricle. On a left side, this aorta gives of the two branches, the left subclavian artery and the left common carotid artery. But on a right side, aorta gives the brachiocephalic artery, and then this brachiocephalic artery gives the right subclavian artery and right common carotid artery. So right side body and the left side body gives direct blood supply from the aorta, but on a right side the upper limbs gives branches from the brachiocephalic trunk, and this brachiocephalic artery gives originate from the aorta. So on a left side, the left subclavian artery and the left common carotid arteries directly originate from the aorta, but on a right side, aorta first gives the brachiocephalic artery and then right subclavian artery and the right common carotid arteries originate from the brachiocephalic artery. Okay guys, now the axillary artery. So this is a sketch. The branches of aorta. Left side, the aorta gives the two branches, the left subclavian artery and the left common carotid artery. This left subclavian artery continue to form axillary artery. So axillary artery is basically the continuation of subclavian artery. Same on a right side, the right subclavian artery is continue to form axillary artery. So guys, axillary artery is basically the continuation of subclavian artery. This is a first rib, this is a medial border of first rib, and it is a lateral border of first rib. When subclavian artery is crossing the first rib and it reach at the lateral border of first rib, then it become a axillary artery. So axillary artery here on the lateral border of the first rib, the axillary arteries start and it end at the lower border of teres major muscle. This is a teres major muscle. This is the upper border of the teres major muscle, and this is a lower border of the teres major muscle. So subclavian artery when reach at the lateral border of first rib, then it become axillary artery, and whenever this axillary artery reach at the lower border of teres major muscle, then it continue to form brachial artery. So basically the subclavian artery is continue to form axillary artery, and the axillary arteries continue to form brachial artery. Okay guys, now the parts of axillary artery. This is a pect minor muscle which gives insertion on the coracoid process of scapula. These pectoralis minor muscle cross in front of the axillary artery, and as you see that this pectoralis minor muscle divide the axillary artery into three parts. This is the first part of axillary artery. This is the second part of axillary artery which is behind the pectoralis minor muscle, and this is a third part of axillary artery. There are two border of pectoralis minor muscle. This is the upper border of the pectoralis minor muscle, and this is a lower border of the pectoralis minor. So first part of the axillary artery start from the lateral border of the first strip and end at the upper border of the pectoralis minor. Now the second part of the axillary artery which is present behind the pectoralis minor muscle, and the third part of the axillary artery. The third part of the axillary artery start from the lower border of the pectoralis minor muscle and end at the. Again guys, axillary artery is basically the continuation of subclavian artery. When the subclavian artery reach at the lateral border of the first strip, then it become a axillary artery. Axillary artery start from the lateral border of the first strip and end at the lower border of the teres major muscle. This is a teres minor muscle. This is the upper border of the teres minor muscle, and this is the lower border of the teres minor muscle. This is the teres major muscle. This is the upper border of the teres major muscle, and this is the lower border of the teres major muscle. This pectoralis minor muscle crosses in front of the axillary artery and gives insertion to the coracoid process of the scapula and divide the axillary artery into three branches. The first part of axillary artery, second part of axillary artery, and third part of axillary artery. The first part of the axillary artery start from the lateral border of the first strip and end at the upper border of pectoralis minor muscle. The second part of axillary artery is present behind the pectoralis minor muscle, and the third part of the axillary artery start from the lower border of the pectoralis minor muscle and end at the lower border of the teres major muscle. Now guys, very important to remember the relation of axillary artery to the other structures. So first start with the first part of the axillary artery, which is start from the lateral border of the first strip and end at the upper border of the pectoralis minor muscle. First of all, anterior relation. Anteriorly, this cephalic vein. This is a cephalic vein. Here it is cut off, but this cephalic vein is crosses in front of the first part of axillary artery. So anterior relation is cephalic vein. So cephalic vein crosses the first part of axillary artery anteriorly. Now the posterior relation. Posteriorly, as you seen that this is a long thoracic nerve. This long thoracic nerve, guys, is present posteriorly to the first part of axillary artery, as you seen that. This is the first part of axillary artery, and posteriorly this long thoracic nerve comes. With this long thoracic nerve is coming from the cords of brachial plexus. This is a roots of brachial plexus, C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. These are the 5 roots of brachial plexus. These 3 roots, C5, C6, C7, gives of the long thoracic nerve which coming from the posterior aspect of the first part of axillary artery. So in anterior relation of the first part of axillary artery is cephalic vein, and in posteriorly this long thoracic nerve. Now the laterally, this was a lateral and this was a medial. Medial which is towards the body, and lateral which is outward the body. So according to the relation of first part of brachial plexus, first part of axillary artery, laterally this is a cords of brachial plexus. So laterally the cords of brachial plexus, and medially, which is easily visible, the axillary vein. So first part of the brachial plexus anteriorly. Anteriorly, cephalic vein crosses the first part of brachial plexus. Posteriorly, the long thoracic nerve is passing behind the first part of brachial plexus. Laterally, cords of brachial plexus. And medially, the axillary vein. This is the first part of brachial plexus. Relation of first part of brachial plexus. Now the second part of the brachial plexus, which is present behind the pectoralis minor muscle. So first anteriorly, the pectoralis minor muscle because crosses the axillary artery, and these second part of axillary artery is present behind the pectoralis minor. So anterior relation of the second part of the axillary artery is with the pectoralis minor. So anteriorly the pectoralis minor muscle. Okay. Posteriorly basically the posterior cord of brachial plexus. Guys, it is very important to remember. These are the brachial plexus. There are 5 roots: C5, C6, C7, C8 and C9. These 5 roots are combined to form a 3 trunks of brachial plexus. Now these 3 trunks of brachial plexus form the 3 cords of brachial plexus: lateral cord, posterior cord and medial cord. And this is the which you seen the red lines, red margins, which I draw axillary artery basically. These axillary artery, second part of the axillary artery, I draw here to easily remember. So anteriorly we discussed that the pectoralis minor muscle is crossing the second part of axillary artery, and now posteriorly the posterior cord, as you see that the posterior cord of the brachial plexus is passing behind the second part of axillary artery. Laterally, the lateral cord of brachial plexus, and medially the medial cord of brachial plexus. This was a medial side, so medially medial cord of the brachial plexus crosses. This was the axillary artery, okay, second part of axillary artery. Laterally lateral cord of the brachial plexus, and posteriorly the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. So now the second part of the axillary artery, anteriorly the pectoralis minor muscle, posteriorly the posterior cord, laterally the lateral cord of brachial plexus, and medially the medial cord of the brachial plexus. So is it easily remember? It's very easy to remember because the pectoralis minor crosses in front of the axillary artery. So second part of axillary artery is present behind the pectoralis minor muscle. So anteriorly the pectoralis minor muscle are present. This was a lateral side, laterally the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. This is a lateral cord of the brachial plexus. This is a medial cord of the brachial plexus, and the posterior cord of the brachial plexus is present behind this axillary artery, which is visible here. This is a posterior cord of the brachial plexus. This is a lateral cord, and this is a medial cord, and here I draw axillary artery. So now we are talking about the relation of third part of the axillary artery. Guys, the third part of the axillary artery, anteriorly, as you see that this is a we already discussed, this is a medial cord, this is a lateral cord. So third part, first of all, laterally these musculocutaneous nerve are present. This is a musculocutaneous nerve which is originate from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. Musculocutaneous nerve and the lateral root of lateral cord. So guys, this is a lateral cord of the brachial plexus which gives off the lateral root, and this is a median nerve. These median nerves are formed by the 2 roots. The first root which is coming from the lateral cord of brachial plexus and the medial root which is coming from the medial cord of the brachial plexus. As you've seen here, this is a lateral cord, this is a medial cord. These lateral cord first gives off the musculocutaneous nerve. This musculocutaneous nerve is present laterally to the third part of brachial plexus. Okay, now this is a lateral cord which gives off the lateral root. This is a median nerve which is formed in our arm. So lateral cord give the lateral root, medial cord give the medial root. So these median nerve are formed by the combination of two roots, the lateral root which is coming from the lateral cord of brachial plexus and the median root which is coming from the medial cord of the brachial plexus. So in a third part of the brachial plexus, laterally, first the musculocutaneous nerve are present which is originated from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus, and second the lateral root of the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. Now the medially the ulnar nerve are present. This is a ulnar nerve, guys. Medially the ulnar nerve are present, and this is a small nerve which is the musculocutaneous nerve of the arm. Medially two nerves are present which is originated from the medial cord of the brachial plexus. This is a medial cord, this is a lateral cord. This medial cord gives the two branches. The first is ulnar nerve which is present medial to the third part of axillary artery, and the musculocutaneous nerve of the arm which is also present on the medial side of the axillary artery. Now the lateral musculocutaneous nerve and the lateral root of the median nerve. But as you see that this root which is the medial root of the medial cord of the brachial plexus, this is a median nerve, as we already discussed that this median nerve is formed by the combination of two roots, the lateral root which is coming from the lateral cord and the medial root which is coming from the medial cord of the brachial plexus. So these medial root crossing the axillary artery anteriorly. So anteriorly the medial root of the medial cord, laterally the musculocutaneous and the lateral root of the lateral cord of the brachial plexus, medially the ulnar nerve and the musculocutaneous nerve. Now the posteriorly the teres major muscle, the subclavius muscle and the latissimus dorsi muscle. So third part of the brachial plexus, here we write that so guys, third part of the axillary artery, relation of the third part of the axillary artery, anteriorly the medial root of median nerve, posteriorly the teres major muscle and the latissimus dorsi muscle, anterior, posterior. Now the laterally the musculocutaneous nerve which is originated from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus, and the lateral root of lateral cord of brachial plexus, and medially the medial root of median nerve. Guys, again there are three relation of the three parts of the brachial plexus. The first part of the brachial plexus, this is the first part of the brachial plexus. Anteriorly the cephalic vein crosses it. Posteriorly these long thoracic nerve are present behind the first part of axillary artery. Then laterally the cords of the brachial plexus, this is a cords, and medially the axillary vein. Now the second part, on a second part of the brachial plexus, anteriorly the pectoralis minor muscle, posteriorly the posterior cord of brachial plexus. ठीक है, the posterior cord of brachial plexus, laterally the lateral cord, and medially the medial cord. So in the second part of the relation of the second part of the brachial plexus, second part of the axillary artery is that anteriorly pectoralis minor, laterally lateral cord of brachial plexus, medially medial cord of brachial plexus, posteriorly posterior cord of brachial plexus. Now the third part of the brachial plexus, third part of the axillary artery. The third part of the axillary artery, on a lateral side, the musculocutaneous nerve are present and the lateral root of the median nerve. This is a median nerve which is formed by the, as you seen, that combination of two nerves. These two nerves are combined to form a median nerve. This is a lateral root of the lateral cord of brachial plexus. This is a medial root of the medial cord of the brachial plexus. So laterally, the lateral root of the lateral cord of plexus are present and musculocutaneous. Medially, this is a musculocutaneous nerve of the arm are present, and this is a guys ulnar nerve, and anteriorly this medial root of the anteriorly, so you seen that cross this artery, anteriorly the medial root of the median nerve are present. Okay, so and posteriorly the teres major muscle and latissimus dorsi muscle, and as well as subclavius muscle. So this is the important relation of the three parts of the axillary artery. So guys, now the branches of the axillary artery. It is very easy to remember the branches of axillary artery. So trick is this: screw the liar and save a patient. And the first part of the axillary artery gives only one branch, the second gives two branch, and the third gives three branch. So it is not difficult to remember, because second part of the axillary artery gives two branches, third part gives three branch, and first part gives first branch. So the first part, branches of the first part of the axillary artery. First part gives only one branch, which is coming from the the superior thoracic artery. The second part gives two branches, the thoracoacromion and lateral thoracic artery, and the third part gives three branches. The first is subscapular artery, the second is anterior circumflex artery, and the third is posterior circumflex artery. Screw the lawyer, save a patient. Okay, now let's see the branches from atlas. So first part of the axillary artery gives only one branch. Here you see this is a small branch which is coming from the first part of the axillary artery, and the name is superior thoracic artery. So first branch of the axillary artery gives only one branch, which is the superior thoracic artery. Now the second part of the axillary artery gives the two branches. Second part gives two branches. The first is, this is a thoracoacromion branch, and the second is lateral thoracic artery. So second part of axillary artery gives two branches. The first is thoracoacromion and the second is lateral thoracic artery. Now the third part, guys, now the third part of the axillary artery. The third part of the axillary artery gives the three branches. The first branch is subscapular artery. Guys, this is the subscapular arteries which is coming from the third part of the axillary artery. Now these are the anterior and this is the posterior, small branches. Anterior and posterior, these two branches are also they originate from the third part of axillary artery. So third part of the axillary artery is three branches. The first is anterior posterior circumflex artery, and this third one is subscapular artery. Okay guys, thanks for watching my video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.